What's up, everyone? So I just finished reading another Give Yourself Goosebumps book. This one, number 40, Zombie School. I've been kind of on a kick of reading these lately. Part of it is because I do just want to finish through the series and have the satisfaction of having read them all, and so I'm able to finally get to my ranking of these. But I've also kind of been enjoying reading through these. I took a break for a while. I hadn't read any of these for quite a long time. And then a while back, I read Invaders from the Big Screen and really enjoyed it. And I've kind of been enjoying going through these again and kind of been in the mood for these lately, I guess. I haven't been doing an individual review for every single one of these books I've been reading. I won't be doing an individual review for all of them because I simply just don't have the time for that. And a lot of them, I don't really just have that much to say about. They're not super memorable. But I just finished reading this one recently, and I wanted to do a quick review of it. So this one, number 40, Zombie School, is basically about you get accepted into this fancy boarding school named Rainwash Boarding School, R-A-N-E, Rainwash. And when you get to this fancy boarding school, there's some strange things going on, and you discover that the teachers are kind of strict, a little bit too strict. A lot of the kids act really weird. They say things like, work, don't play, must obey the rules. And then you discover the very first choice you come across. You have the chance to look through this monocle. A teacher has this monocle that she sets down on her desk. And you have the choice of whether or not you want to pick it up and look through it and keep it, or if you just want to leave it there and not mess with it. And if you look through this monocle, basically you see things as they really are. Turns out that these kids are zombies. They are being brainwashed. If you look through this monocle, all of the kids appear kind of like the zombie on this cover here, with bluish green skin, glassy eyes. And then you also see hidden messages in the textbooks, on the chalkboard, on signs hanging on the walls, things like must obey the rules, work, don't play, things like that. And this leads you to the main story arc, where you have 6 different classes to choose from. It's English, history, science, gym, basically all these basic common classes. There's 6 different ones to choose from. You have to pick 4 of them, and then you have to go through them in the order, from the top to bottom, I guess. They're numbered, that each class has its own page you're supposed to turn to. And then from there, different things happen in each class. This is the main story arc, and it takes up the majority of the book. And this is where, I guess I'm just going to be jumping straight into my negatives with this. This is where I'm a little bit disappointed with how this one is structured. So with each class, not each class takes up a lot of page space. There's only a few choices within each class. And essentially what happens is you will get these things called demerits if you make a mistake or a wrong choice. Occasionally, teachers will ask you questions, and you have to give them an answer. And if you get the wrong answer, you get a demerit. And if you get 25 demerits, then you are sent to the detention wing. And this is, I guess, pretty much the goal of the book, is to get sent to the detention wing, because in each and every class, the majority of the choices get you 15 to 20 demerits, and you only can get 25 before you're sent to the detention wing. So this book is pretty much designed to make you fail. But once you get to the detention wing, there's a few different choices you can make, different routes you can go down, and one of them leads to the one true good ending of this book. And I don't like the way that this is set up or structured at all, because you have all of these different classes you can go to, and it makes it seem like you have to go through these classes for a reason, to accomplish something. But it doesn't really matter what classes you pick, because all of them lead to the same end result of you getting sent to this detention wing. And if you just so happen to get lucky and get the one right choice in each class, make the right decisions, and don't get any of the demerits, which is very difficult to do, because like I said, this book is designed to make you get sent to the detention wing. If you somehow avoid that, then you're not accomplishing anything. You're not going to go anywhere. You're basically going to be going back to this one page that has a list of all the classes you can go to, and you're just going to keep going through the classes over and over again until you end up making enough wrong choices, get enough demerits, and get sent to the detention wing. So yeah, I don't like the way this is set up. It has a really cool concept, but it's very poorly executed in my opinion. Now there are a few like branching story arcs in a couple of classes. So there's more than one good ending in this book. So in two of the classes, I forget which ones they are, but in two of the classes there are like these branching story arcs that sort of veer off from like the boarding school zombie storyline where you are trying to escape this boarding school essentially. And in these branching story arcs, they lead you to sort of leaving the school and visiting like the outside town. You go into the woods. There's a few different things that happen. And there are a couple of good endings in those branching story arcs. But it just, I don't know. They weren't very satisfying. And I didn't like that they weren't like contained within the main story. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, this main story arc was just a little bit disappointed. Again, really cool concept. Reminds me a little bit of Trick or Trapped, because that book had an awesome concept as well. Kind of similar, where you have to visit all of these different houses while you're trick-or-treating at Halloween. You had like the blue house, red house, all these different colored houses. But that book was very flawed in that many of the houses were completely irrelevant. A lot of them you didn't even have to visit. You pretty much could just skip right to the end to like the big white mansion or whatever it was and get the good ending without even having to visit any of the houses first. And that's kind of how this book feels. It just makes it feel pointless, like you're kind of wasting your time going through all of these classes just to fail and get sent to the detention wing. Once you're in the detention wing, there's like the teacher or whatever it is that makes you take a test, and if you get the right answer, you pretty much win the book. And it just, yeah, it's not very satisfying. So yeah, and then this secondary story arc to this is within the first choice you make in regards to the monocle. If you decide to leave it there and not mess with it, you still discover that something fishy is going on with this school. I think you discover like a hidden message that the name of this school is not Brainwash School, but it's actually Brainwash School, that the teachers are brainwashing all the students, turning them into zombies. And you discover this group of kids, these like rebels that are trying to like uncover this school mystery and trying to like expose all of the teachers and make the outside world aware of what's going on here. I believe they're called like the Runaways. So you kind of band up with this group of kids named the Runaways. And there's a few different choices you can make in this story arc in regards to helping them kind of expose the school. One of the kids, I think, wants to attempt to like go to the outside world and make everyone aware of what's going on. Another one of the kids in this group wants to break into the school and take control of like these guard dogs that are like guarding the school. And there are also, I think, one or two good endings in this story arc as well, and they are very easy to reach. So yeah, there's quite a few good endings in this book. None of them are really satisfying, unfortunately, because they're too easy to get to, and it just doesn't feel like this book really had a clear enough objective. Again, I like the concept of it. I like how all of these different classes are set up, but it doesn't really matter which classes you go to, unless you're trying to get to one of the good endings that sort of branch off. One of those like mini branching off story arcs from specific classrooms, I guess. So yeah, another thing that's kind of cool about this book that I like is with the whole theme of the monocle and the hidden messages that you see everywhere. I feel like this is directly borrowing from or sort of like paying tribute to the movie They Live. If you've seen that classic 80s horror comedy, They Live, it is exactly like that, where he puts on the glasses and over like magazines and televisions are the words buy, consume, purchase, that sort of thing. It's pretty much the same exact concept here. So in a way, this Give Yourself Goosebumps book does have like some commentary to it, I guess. It's very on the nose, kind of obvious, basically about talking about how the teachers are brainwashing their kids and how they're stuck, in school for hours and hours a day, all work, no play, being brainwashed. Yeah, I don't know. Some people might enjoy that about it. For me, this one just wasn't well executed enough. It wasn't horrible though. They still had some fun with it. There were some pretty cool scenes in this book, a few funny endings. Some of the endings were very abrupt and didn't really seem like there was a lot of creativity behind them, but there were some funny endings as well that I enjoyed, including some of the bad ones. And I still had some fun with it. It wasn't horrible. I don't know if I want to rate this book on a 1 to 5 stars. I'm thinking like a 3 out of 5, maybe, or like a 3.25 out of 5. I'm not really sure yet. I've been kind of looking back through all of the Give Yourself Goosebumps books that I've read. I have like a notebook where I've rated them all, and for some of them, I've like jotted short notes down beneath them. And ranking this series is going to be so difficult. Like, I'm kind of excited to get to it, but at the same time, it's going to be dreadful. I don't know how I'm going to rank this series, honestly. I have so many that are the same or similar ratings. It's going to be tough. But yeah, that is Zombie School. I don't think I have a lot else to say about this one. It was fine, maybe like slightly above average. I would maybe recommend giving this one a read, but yeah, it wasn't amazing or anything. So if you guys read this one, let me know what your thoughts on it are on it down below in the comments. That's all I have today, and I will see you next time.